Welcome back to the channel, Bridging the Gap Student to Engineer, where STEM professionals provide advice to students. This video will be going through the school outcome data for Rochester Institute of Technology in Rochester, New York. The data looks really great, and we should just jump right into it. RIT's information is available through their Office of Career Services and Cooperative Education. You can tell how much importance RIT places on co-ops or cooperative education by the fact that that is in one office with career services. So the school is very dedicated to getting their students co-op experiences, and in many programs it's required for graduation. So let's just go through what we have. The way that this is laid out is not very easy for me to just pull up a table and show you, but we'll click through a few things and show you what's available. Okay, let's start with co-op. A co-op is an experience where students are working in their field of their major, and typically it's full-time alternating with school. So RIT focuses a lot on co-op experience. This is a big part of their programs, and for a number of the majors, it is required. They also offer you on-campus employment, like you can get pretty much anywhere. And they do have a pretty good emphasis on helping students with career workshops and programs, so helping them with resumes and those types of things. Just to let you know, my personal connection with RIT, my brother and sister-in-law graduated from there in the 90s. My brother is a very successful computer programmer. He has a degree in computer science from there. I have also hired a couple interns from there, specifically the National Technical Institute for the Deaf, which is part of RIT. Those interns came from that program and they were great. My sister-in-law is deaf, and my brother met her at school. So, for somebody who's looking for exposure to more people than maybe you're used to being around, being at a school where there's a large community of people who are deaf or blind or those other things can be really beneficial. So in the case of RIT, it's the National Technical Institute for the Deaf. All right, so let's just go through some of the things they have on their splash page. So they're ranked 5th among national universities for excellent co-op and internship program. Again, co-op is a big, big thing. They talking about how many jobs are posted, like I've talked about in other videos. A number doesn't really do justice, because a small school having 65,000 job postings versus a very, very, very large school are two different things. In the case of RIT, they have about 19,000 students, and so having 65,000 co-op and full-time jobs posted is excellent. It means that a lot of companies are trying to get students from there. Okay, overall outcome rate. This is what I've been calling a positive outcome rate. This is excellent. Anything that you've got like above 90, 95 is just awesome. But what this means is that when a graduate comes out of the school, within 6 months, they're doing what they want to do. So they're either working, they're going to school, they're doing something other, which is where we put military and volunteer service. But with such a high number, if you graduate from RIT, you will be successful and you'll be able to go out there and get a job. Okay, so I'm not going to click on the co-op and experiential learning options. If you are interested in more details, I will have the link in the description for this video, but I will say over and over again that RIT is really big into experiential learning. Even on this page, they've got stories for them. They really want their grads to be out there getting those experiences, graduating with good experience, and being ready for the workforce because they have had those experiences. So let's click on the post-grad survey and career info. One thing that's difficult about this page that I'm just having a hard time with is that it is by major. So I can't go pull up the School of Engineering and see how that is. I can't go look at engineering technology and see what that is. I have to click on a specific major. So I'm going to just talk a little bit about the majors that they offer and something that you need to know about RIT. So RIT has engineering, and they also have engineering technology. So as an example, electrical engineering, Bachelor of Science. They also offer electrical engineering technology Bachelor of Science. They offer the advanced degrees in the same thing, but if you are looking at an offer from RIT, an offer for admission, make sure you understand if it's engineering or engineering technology. Some people will say there's no difference. Some people will say there's a big difference. In general, what it means to you in school is that you won't have as much math if you're in engineering technology. You'll be doing more of the doing and less of the design. And that may be totally fine for you from a career perspective, but it may not be something that you're interested in. As an engineer, working in the engineering industry for a very long time, I don't really run across people with engineering technology degrees. And if they did, I wouldn't know it. So that's just something to explore more if you've gotten that offer and not for the engineering portion of it. I also was accepted into RIT back in the day and elected not to go there because the major I wanted was just engineering technology and not full engineering. Another thing to consider related to that is if you want to get your professional engineer's license, if you have an engineering technology degree, you'll have to have more years of experience before you can go sit for that exam. If you're in a full engineering, you just have to work for 4 years and then go take it. With engineering, you've got engineering technology, you have more experience required, but you can still get your PE license. So I'm going to just click on one of these majors just as an example of what kind of outcomes RIT gives its students. I'm going to pick Mechanical Engineering Bachelor's. So when I come over to Mechanical Engineering Bachelor's of Science, what I'm seeing is the median income for new grads. Again, this is 22 data, so it's going to be a little bit lower than the 23 data we're seeing posted at most schools. But in general, most schools, what we're seeing is about a median of $80,000. So this is a little bit lower than that, but it's not, not horrible. And the only school that we're really seeing much higher than 80,000 is UC Berkeley. I'll provide a link to that video here discussing the reasons why that much may be much higher, but the 74,000 is in the range, and you can depend on getting a pretty solid income when you graduate. And then when you look at the percent likelihood that you are going to get that job and that you are going to be out there working or going to grad school when you graduate is related to these student outcomes. So we already looked at the percent student outcomes overall. This is specifically for this major. One thing to note on this donut chart here is that very few of RIT grads go to grad school. The vast majority are getting into the workplace, and depending on who you talk to in engineering, a lot of people will say, it's better not to go straight into grad school with engineering specifically. It's better to go work and get that experience. And then, if you do want to get a master's, often your employer will pay for it, and you don't have to worry about it yourself. So something to consider. This is the very, very lowest I've seen on grad school rates. Okay, and then a nice thing they have on here is, well, two things. One is the job titles that people have. What this is showing is that people who are getting mechanical engineering degrees from RIT are pretty much staying within their degree field. There are some schools where they graduate a lot of engineers who will go into the financial sector or do something that's different than the title of their degree. So we're not seeing that here. So I think that's a good thing. It may not be, but it is something to consider. And then hiring partners. So I really like to hear partners. And the reason that I like for companies to partner with schools is because when you get out of school, the easiest way for you to get a job is for your school to be partnered with employers. And this is really where sometimes the employers will sponsor organizations on campus. Sometimes they'll provide speakers. Sometimes they will just be at job fairs. But whatever that partnership is, they are looking for grads from that school because they know the program at the school. They know the type of students that graduate from there, and they're looking for the type of people who graduate from there. So if you look at this list of hiring partners for mechanical, you've got a pretty good variety of uh, s- of companies here just for mechanical. Aerospace companies, there's several of those. Rivian Motors. Um, there's a lot of different companies here. If you have not heard of them and you're interested, definitely just do a quick search and see what you can find. I do notice on the bottom here, Booz Allen Hamilton. That's not a company that is going to make you design anything mechanical. That's more of a financial company. So there's always an opportunity if you graduate from engineering school and you decide you don't want to do engineering, that you can go do a number of different things. So also available on the website is just more information. And I would recommend that if you are seriously looking at RIT that you click through all of this stuff. I'm not going to do it right now. What I am going to do is come back here and pick a different engineering just so that we can do a little comparison. I'm going to do electrical engineering bachelor's. Okay, so if we see the same information, again, the higher income, that's a little bit higher than 80, and 100% positive outcome rate. I've never actually seen that at a school. So going into a program and knowing that that's what you're going to get is amazing. Again, the very small grad study route for this, but just amazing student outcomes. This is absolutely what you want to get out of a school. So if we go down to job titles and selected hiring partners, we again see a lot of engineering positions that are right along the line with the major. And one thing to note on electrical engineering is that there's a lot of schools now that combine electrical with computer science or computer engineering. I like to see that electrical programs are more macro for schools to be still thinking about systems or controls or manufacturing in electrical. I think is really good because you have a lot more to understand, a much wider understanding of electrical than if you were just focusing on computers. And then again, the hiring partners, they are all over the place. You've got a couple aerospace and defense like Lockheed Martin, but definitely very strong. And if you are going to graduate from there, if you got 100% likelihood of getting a job right out of school, then absolutely consider it a positive outcome. So that's the data available for Rochester Institute of Technology. It looks like a great opportunity for a number of students. If you'd like to dive into it at all, it is very accessible, and I'll provide the link in the comments section for the video. And we will see you next time.